The bells ring before dawn. You wake in the cold, breath hanging in the dark. No one speaks. A candle flares. The walls remember things you're not meant to hear. Your hands ache. You stand anyway. Above you, wrapped in silk, they sleep. They will never know your name. You serve them. You are invisible. That's why you hear everything. And in a palace built on whispers, being unseen is the most dangerous thing of all. Welcome to the palace. You did not choose this life. Your family was poor. When the palace summoned young girls from the village, your mother wept. But she also knew. This was survival. A chance. Perhaps the only one you would ever have. You were 12 years old. They stripped away your name first. You are called by your position now, or simply girl. Your hair was cut short, hidden beneath a plain cap. Your dress is rough wool, dyed the colorless shade of stone and shadow. You are meant to blend into walls, to become part of the palace itself. Invisible, forgettable, silent. The rules were taught to you on your first day. Never look directly at nobility. Never speak unless spoken to. Never touch anything that does not require cleaning. Never linger in doorways. Never repeat what you hear. Never, never, never. The head stewardess made it clear. One mistake, and you would be sent away. Or worse. You learned quickly. You learned to move like water, to breathe quietly, to read a room before entering it. You learned which hallways to avoid, which nobles were cruel, which guards would look the other way if you spilled something. You learned that your life here depends on being nothing at all. Your day begins in the kitchens before the sun touches the high windows of the great hall. The stone floors are freezing beneath your worn shoes. Your fingers are numb as you carry buckets of water up narrow staircases meant only for servants. These passages are hidden behind tapestries and false panels, threading through the palace like veins beneath skin. You emerge into the grand chambers as the household begins to wake. You light fires. You empty chamber pots. You lay out garments selected by ladies' maids who hold rank above you. You polish silver that costs more than your family would earn in 10 lifetimes. The palace is a world of contrasts that you navigate every day. The nobles' chambers smell of rosewater and perfumed oils. Their sheets are silk, their pillows stuffed with down. Sunlight streams through stained glass, painting their floors in jeweled colors. Your quarters smell of unwashed bodies and tallow candles. You sleep on straw. You share a room with 9 other girls, and in winter, you huddle together for warmth. You scrub marble floors until your knees bruise. You beat rugs in the courtyard until your arms shake. You polish mirrors that reflect faces you are forbidden to look at directly. The work is endless. The palace devours your youth, your strength, your health. But you do not complain. Complaint is luxury. You are here to survive. The palace reveals itself to you slowly. Through repetition and routine, you learn its rhythms, the way sound travels through the halls at night, the places where drafts whistle through cracks in ancient walls, the stairs that creak, the doors that stick, the windows that look out onto private gardens where secrets are whispered. You learn the people too. The cruel duchess who throws things when displeased, the kind prince who sometimes meets your eyes and nods, the scheming courtier who moves through the palace like a serpent, the queen who you have seen only from a distance, who seems made of ice and iron. You exist in their world, but you are not of it. You are the hands that arrange their lives. You are the shadow that moves through their days, unseen and unheard, until you are needed. And then you must appear instantly, perfectly, without question. This is the exhaustion that marks you, not just physical tiredness, but the constant vigilance, the eternal watchfulness. One mistake, that is all it takes. And so you are careful, always careful. But carefulness cannot protect you from what you hear. The palace speaks, even when its people think no one is listening. And you are always there, dusting a mantle, folding linens, standing so still that they forget you exist. You hear everything. You hear the Duchess confess to her lady's maid that she carries another man's child. You see the letters she burns afterward, her hands shaking, her face pale. You hear the king's advisor whisper of treason in a shadowed alcove, his voice low and urgent. You press yourself against the wall, heart pounding, and pray he does not notice you waiting to pass. You see the prince slip into the chamber of a married noblewoman hours after her husband has left for the hunt. You say nothing. You see nothing. You are no one. But you remember. The palace is built on secrets, layer upon layer, like sediment in stone. Affairs, plots, alliances forged and broken in whispered conversations. Money exchanged in dark corners. Poisons discussed behind closed doors. You are surrounded by danger you cannot name and power you cannot comprehend. And yet you understand perfectly. You understand that these people, with their silk and their titles and their certainty, are as trapped as you are. Trapped by ambition, by bloodline, by the endless, brutal game of power. They scheme against each other. They smile at dinner and plot murder before breakfast. They marry for alliance and betray for advantage. You watch it all. Sometimes, late at night in your narrow bed, you wonder what would happen if you spoke, if you told what you knew, the Duchess's secret, the advisor's treason, the prince's indiscretion. But you know the answer. You have seen what happens to those who speak. There was a girl 2 years ago. She was older than you, and she had been at the palace longer. She thought she understood how things worked. She thought she could gain favor by revealing a secret to the wrong person. They found her in the river. It was called an accident. No one spoke of it after the first week. She was erased as though she had never existed. You learned the lesson she paid for with her life. Knowledge is not power when you have no protection. Knowledge is a noose around your neck. So you keep silent. You keep your eyes down. You carry their secrets like stones in your pockets, weighing you down, but you do not stumble. And still, the secrets accumulate. You know who is falling from favor. You know which alliances are fracturing. You know when the queen does not sleep, when she paces her chambers until dawn, when her ladies whisper that she has been weeping. You know that something is coming, some shift in the delicate balance of power. You feel it in the air, the way animals sense storms, and you are afraid. It happens on an ordinary day. You are cleaning the queen's private sitting room, a place you have been 100 times before. The queen is absent, attending to matters of state. You work quickly, efficiently, your movements practiced and sure. You are dusting the writing desk when you see it, a letter half hidden beneath a leather-bound book. The wax seal is broken. The handwriting is elegant, slanted, urgent. You should not look. You know you should not look, but your eyes catch a single word: betrayal. Your hand freezes. Your heart begins to pound so hard you fear someone will hear it. You glance at the door, empty, silent. You should leave. You should finish your work and disappear like smoke. But you look. The letter speaks of a plot, names you recognize, dates, a plan to remove the queen from power, to replace her with someone more amenable to certain interests. The words blur before your eyes. You force yourself to breathe. You replace the letter exactly as it was. Your hands are shaking so badly you nearly knock over an inkwell. You finish your work in a haze of terror and leave the chamber as quickly as propriety allows. But it is too late. You know something that could topple the throne, something that makes you dangerous. And 2 days later, you are summoned. The head stewardess appears in the servants' hall, her face grave. She speaks your name, your actual name, the one you have not heard in years, and your blood turns to ice. The queen wishes to see you. The other maids stare. No one is summoned by the queen, no one like you. You follow the stewardess through the palace in silence. Your mind races. Does she know? Did someone see you? Is this the end? You are brought to a small chamber, not the throne room, a private space. The queen sits in a chair by the window, light falling across her face. She looks tired, human. She dismisses the stewardess with a gesture. You are alone with her. You clean my chambers, she says, not a question. Yes, Your Majesty. Your voice is barely a whisper. She studies you for a long moment. Her eyes are sharp, intelligent, weighing. You are observant, I think. You see things, hear things. You say nothing. Your heart is a drum. I require someone I can trust, she says slowly. Someone who exists beneath notice. Someone who can move through this palace and tell me what is really happening. You understand, suddenly, terribly. She knows you saw the letter. She knows you know, and she is offering you a choice. Become her eyes and ears, her secret informant, or become a liability to be eliminated. It is not really a choice at all. I would be honored to serve your majesty in any way, you whisper. She nods just once. You will report to me directly. No one else must know. Not the stewardess, not the other maids, no one. Yes, your majesty. If you betray me, she says, her voice soft as silk and cold as winter, I will know, and you will suffer a fate worse than death. You believe her. From that moment, your life in the palace transforms. You are still a maid. You still scrub floors and empty chamber pots. But now you listen with purpose. You watch with intent. You are a spy. And the palace, already dangerous, becomes a labyrinth of knives. Every conversation might be a test. Every person might be an enemy. You must remember everything, reveal nothing, and trust no one. The weight of it nearly crushes you. You report to the queen in stolen moments, whispered conversations in empty rooms. You tell her what you have learned, who meets with whom, what the courtiers say when they think no one is listening. She rewards you with nothing, no money, no comfort, only the assurance that you will continue to live. But you are changing. You are no longer invisible. You are a player in the game now, even if you are the smallest piece on the board. And one night, you overhear something that makes your blood run cold. They are planning to move soon. The conspirators. They speak of a window of opportunity, of accidents that can be arranged. The queen's life is in danger, and you are the only one who knows. You tell her everything. The queen listens in silence, her face revealing nothing. When you finish, she nods once. You have done well. 3 days later, the palace erupts in quiet chaos. Arrests are made in the night. Nobles are escorted from their chambers by armed guards. The king's most trusted advisor is imprisoned on charges of treason. The plot is crushed before it can unfold. You watch it all from the shadows, where you have always been. No one knows your part in this. No one suspects that the small, silent girl who empties chamber pots is the reason the queen still lives. The queen does not summon you again. There is no reward, no acknowledgement, but one morning you find a small purse hidden beneath your pillow. Gold coins, more money than you have ever seen. It is enough to leave, to go home, to buy your family a better life. But you do not leave, not yet, because you have learned something in this palace of secrets and power. You have learned that invisibility is its own kind of power, that those who are overlooked can see everything, that the smallest players can change the game. You are still a maid. You still wake before dawn and work until your body aches, but you are no longer powerless. You are no longer nothing. The years pass. You grow older in these marble halls. Your hands become more scarred. Your back bends a little more. You watch as kings die and new kings rise. You watch as wars begin and end. You watch as the powerful fall and the ambitious ascend. And through it all, you remain, a constant, a witness to history. Sometimes you wonder what your life would have been if you had never come here. If you had stayed in your village, married, had children, a simple life. But you know the truth, that life was never possible for you. You are always going to be here, in this place where secrets live and power breathes. You are part of the palace now, part of its stones and shadows, part of its hidden history. And when you die, quietly in your sleep, in the same narrow bed where you have slept for 40 years, no one will write your name in any book. No one will remember what you saw or what you knew, or how you changed the fate of a kingdom. You will be forgotten, like all the others who served in silence. But the palace will remember. The walls will remember, because you were never invisible. Not really. You were the eyes that saw everything, the ears that heard every secret, the hands that shaped history from the shadows. You were a palace maid, and you survived.